Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about Skul the Hero Slayer. And Skul the Hero Slayer is a roguelite that I actually reviewed when it first came out in early access around 11 months ago. And when I made that review, I was one of the first ever people to even play the game. I remember waiting in the Discord for the game to launch, and it had a very rough launch. There were crashes, translation issues, and more. And so I kind of just dismissed the game. I didn't review it very well, and for the last 11 months, I have had countless people watch the review and not enjoy it because what I said during that review isn't relevant anymore. The game got tons of updates and it got very popular, and almost all of my issues with the game were irrelevant. So today I wanted to review Skul the Hero Slayer yet again, as it is officially releasing on January 21st, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to give it another chance. And small disclaimer, the developers actually gave me an early review copy of the game so I could make this video for you guys reviewing the 1.0 version before it actually came out. And I have to say, playing it again with a fresh set of eyes was pretty incredible. Skul the Hero Slayer turned into a pretty good roguelite. The main gimmick of the game is with its skull switching gameplay, and so you have your normal attacks that hit enemies, but you also have two ability slots. And so the starting skull you have comes with one ability that allows you to throw your skull to deal magic damage, and then another that allows you to teleport to where your skull is. And so you can find a ton of other skulls in varying rarities in the game, and when you pick up the skull, you get that skull's powers. So they'll come with a passive ability, either one or two active abilities that are on cooldowns, and then also an ability that gets triggered when you switch skulls. You can have two different skulls on at once, and constantly switching between them is extremely important for two different reasons. First of all, like I said earlier, each skull does something special when you switch to it. It could be a lunging attack, or bleed damage, or give you a shield. And then second of all, there is no mana in the game. Instead, everything is based on cooldowns, which I have to say is absolutely amazing. I hate games with mana, honestly, where you have to worry about not using your abilities because you want to save the mana for a boss or something like that. And in this game, all of the abilities are just based on cooldowns. But what's cool is that if you switch to your other skull, the ability cooldown still recovers. So you can use your abilities on one skull, then switch to the other, and then use those abilities, and kind of keep cycling like that. There is a cooldown for switching skulls in the first place that helps you balance this, but overall you're going to be constantly switching to take advantage of what skulls you have. And there are some super cool skulls in the game. You have your run-of-the-mill thief skulls or warrior skulls and stuff like that, but then you have stuff like a bomber skeleton that you take out a bomb and blow yourself up to deal a ton of damage. And with there being different rarities of skulls, you can find more rare ones and even legendary ones that are super badass and just get you really hyped to find them. Also, there's this feature that's new to the 1.0 version of the game where you can upgrade certain skulls to make them more powerful over time, and you do that by breaking down skulls or items you find in the game to use to level up the skulls. Like your normal gold though, this currency that you get when you break down items go away after each run, and you have to get to the NPC that does this, so it makes it feel special and something you kind of have to work towards in a run. You can also get items in this game that are a lot cooler than most other items in other roguelites. So every item you get in the game will have its main unique effect it does, but it will also have two perks that go along with that. And these perks stack, so say you get 3 items and they all have one of the same perk, you would have a level 3 version of that perk. So this makes you not only pick up items for their effects, but also what passive perks they have, as you might want to try stacking certain perks to get really powerful effects. And so you keep going from area to area doing normal roguelite things like killing enemies, getting gold, buying items, finding the cool skulls in the game, fighting bosses, which by the way, the bosses and mini bosses in this game are actually pretty cool. There's a good variety of them, especially the mini bosses, and they all play differently, which is nice. And when you finally die, you go back to the main castle. And this is where your progression comes in place. Overall, the main progression in the game is that you use this dark quartz you get in runs to level up this little skill tree that has basic upgrades at the beginning like stat boosts, and then get 2 more unique things down the road. In my opinion, this is still one of the weakest parts about the game. There have been some incredible progression systems in roguelites that I have played lately, and so Skul the Hero Slayer kind of falters in this regard in my opinion, but it is decent enough motivation to reward you to keep playing. Also, I definitely need to touch on the graphics. The art style is absolutely amazing. I love the pixel graphics, and I love how most of the different skulls you get transform you into drastically different characters that all look really cool. The music is very solid as well, though I do think the soundtrack could use a couple more tracks for variety, especially early on in the levels that you're going to be kind of replaying over and over. The music does start to get a little bit repetitive. So overall, Skul the Hero Slayer has shaped up to be a very solid roguelite. The base combat isn't groundbreaking, but these skull switching mechanics make the game very unique, and the presentation and polish make it feel like a full experience, though the progression system does hold it back a tiny bit. So overall, if you are interested in the skull swapping mechanics that remind me a lot of the Kirby games, I would highly recommend this game. That mechanic is unique enough, and the game is built on it really well, where there is a ton of fun to have. Also, I do want to bring up that old review I made one more time. I have definitely grown a ton as a reviewer since then, and since that review, it's kind of taught me how to fully review early access games. Like, it's very important to discuss what is wrong with them, but if they have awesome gameplay and are just hindered by a lack of polish in early access, I'm trying to bring up the good parts about the game more instead of just trashing it and kind of dismissing it like I did with the original Skul review. A great example of this is my recent Ancient Abyss review, which I would highly recommend if you're interested in games like this. But if you have played Skul the Hero Slayer or just from watching gameplay, I would love to know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Also, if you want to see even more gameplay, I'm going to be making a Let's Play in the next day or so subscribe and ring that bell to see that in the future. Also, I make 3 to 6 video reviews and Let's Plays and live streams, and roguelites are easily the genre I cover the most, so if you love them as much as I do, definitely subscribe. But if you're going to be grinding out some games of Skul, I wish you luck, and see you guys next time.